Did you know a person of African descent lived in medieval England nearly 1,000 years ago? The story of Africa is far richer and more complex than most history books reveal. Today, we journey into the heart of the continent's greatest mysteries, exploring contested histories, suppressed facts, and the remarkable civilizations that have been deliberately obscured. We begin in a place you might not expect, medieval England. In Ipswich, forensic analysis of a skeleton dating back to between 1190 and 1300 CE tells a startling story. The remains belong to someone of probable Northern African or Southern European origin, placing an African individual in England centuries before the transatlantic slave trade. This single skeleton challenges simplistic narratives about medieval populations and highlights the long and often overlooked presence of Africans in Europe, a reminder that history is rarely as straightforward as it seems. Now we travel to West Africa, to the Kingdom of Benin. In February 1897, a British punitive expedition descended upon Benin City, unleashing violence and plunder. Among the spoils of war were thousands of objects, most famously the Benin bronzes. These weren't mere artworks, they were the royal archives of Benin, a visual record of its history, rituals, and political power. They served as instruments of political propaganda. The removal of these bronzes wasn't just theft, it was an act of cultural erasure, tearing apart a living archive and scattering its pieces across museums in Europe and North America. The story of the Benin bronzes is central to modern debates about colonial violence, museum ethics, and the urgent need for restitution. Moving southward, we arrive at Great Zimbabwe, a majestic city of stone that once stood as a testament to African ingenuity. For years, colonial narratives falsely attributed its construction to outsiders, denying African agency and achievement. That racist claim has been thoroughly debunked. But the mystery of Great Zimbabwe remains. Who precisely were its builders? How did the state function? And how did this magnificent city fit into the region's complex trade networks? Great Zimbabwe stands as a powerful symbol of pre-colonial African statecraft and architectural prowess. Its ongoing rediscovery shapes African identity and education, challenging colonial-era distortions. Our journey takes us next to the enigmatic Sow civilization, a long-lasting culture that flourished in Central Africa from the 6th century BC to the 15th century AD. Despite their enduring presence, the Sow remain shrouded in mystery. Their language, origins, and culture are largely unknown to us. We can only piece together their story from material remains, leaving much to the imagination. The modern Kotoko people are linked through oral traditions to be descendants of the Sow. The story of the Sow civilization highlights the limits of archaeology when written sources are scarce. It showcases how African history can be reconstructed from fragments of material evidence and enduring oral traditions. From Central Africa, we travel north to Egypt, to the Valley of the Kings. Here lies KV 55, a tomb that has fueled debate among Egyptologists for decades. One widely discussed theory suggests that the burial belongs to Akhenaten, the pharaoh who attempted to revolutionize Egyptian religion. The identity of KV 55's occupant and the tomb's original purpose remain hotly contested. The debate surrounding KV 55 reveals how dynastic Egypt continues to be politically and scientifically charged, especially when questions of identity, royal succession, and burial context are at stake. Crossing the continent to southern Africa, we find the Apollo 11 cave in Namibia. Here, rock art estimated to be over 26,000 years old tells a story of early human creativity and symbolic thought. The Apollo 11 cave is one of the continent's most important archaeological sites, pushing the timeline of artistic expression in southern Africa far back into the past. It challenges Eurocentric perspectives on the origins of art and culture. Let's now celebrate a figure who defied colonial power, Queen Nzinga. She ruled Ndongo and Matamba from 1624 to 1663, resisting Portuguese expansion with remarkable skill and determination. Nzinga's legacy continues to inspire. She is remembered as a symbol of African resistance and a figure of empowerment. Finally, we turn to Musa of the Mali Empire, often described as one of the wealthiest individuals in recorded history. His legendary pilgrimage to Mecca put Mali on the map. Mansa Musa's reign represents a golden age of African trade, scholarship, and cultural exchange. These are just a few of the countless mysteries that continue to shape our understanding of African history. These stories, once suppressed or distorted, are now being reclaimed and celebrated. The repatriation of the Benin bronzes, the ongoing exploration of Great Zimbabwe, and the rediscovery of figures like Queen Nzinga are all part of a larger movement to decolonize African history and amplify the voices that have been silenced for too long. We must challenge simplistic narratives, question established assumptions, and embrace the complexity and richness of the African past. These are not merely historical footnotes, they are essential threads in the tapestry of human civilization. What other African mysteries do you find most intriguing? Share your thoughts in the comments below.